Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Robert Ziggy Ziegler up at Harvard University. Not in that quarter zip today, and maybe that surged, Ziggy, the big day of subscribers that we've had. You know, how often do we have two shows come out in one day? But that's exactly what's going on here with some major NFC North news. And before we get into it, first off, we did hit 20,000 subscribers, so thank you everyone for thank you everybody for
applauding you all. We're not applauding us.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for subscribing to the channel. It's been a really, really shockingly big day for us. Ziggy just said it's the third biggest subscriber day that we've had since the start of 2024. Amazingly. So, I know yesterday at the beginning of the show, we said, get in now. Like we're 3 subscribers away. Everyone, please help us. So, I'm just going to be straight up with everyone. My goal, personal goal for the show for this season is to get to 50,000 subscribers if we can. And I know it's a lot. It really is a lot. We're shooting pretty high there, especially considering that we've only added 10K since the beginning of 2024. But that's the personal goal, and it's really cool today to see so many people subscribing to the channel. So everyone who's done that, thanks a ton. It really means a lot to us. We got so many well wishes from everyone with the post that we hit 20,000 subscribers. So it's really, really cool, and we'll continue to thank everyone, especially when Jack and Zach get back here, because they're just as big a part of the show as Ziggy and I over the past few years now. So we'll do another thank you, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to be coming down for a big live show to celebrate 20,000. And again, Paul's been teasing it. There could be something pretty big in the works for that. So keep an eye out for an announcement there.
Yeah, we're going to have a really exciting football season. I just got off the phone. I'm not at liberty to discuss it yet, but there are some pretty fun announcements that we're going to have coming up over the next month, probably after towards the end of August. But there's some really good stuff in the works. We're gonna have a blast this football season, and we hope everyone's along for the ride. And if you are enjoying the content, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's been an awesome day of people engaging with us, and that's the fun of it right here. I mean, we have a great time talking to each other, but just as much fun as seeing other people have fun in the comment section and tell us their thoughts. And it's cool to form a community that we have here, where it's a fairly optimistic group of NFC North people and broader football fans as well. Let's
test that optimism a little bit. Let's test that optimism a little bit of this show. We try not to do negative shows too much, but there were a couple big pieces of news coming out of the North that neither Packers nor Vikings fans are going to be very happy about.
Yeah, there were some massive stories. We could start off here. The biggest one to me is the Jordan Addison suspension in Minnesota. Jordan was suspended for 3 games for this season. After let's just celebrate first. We had a July where Jordan Addison wasn't pulled over or cited, or he had no legal issues for speeding in July of 2025. So that's a great win.
That's his first July in 3 years where that's happened.
Yeah, it's the first July where Jordan's avoided police trouble in 3 years. So that's a win. We'll take that. But 2 years ago, Jordan was driving 140 miles per hour on a Minnesota freeway. Not good. And last year, he was found asleep at the wheel of his white Rolls Royce that was blocking a lane of the I-105 westbound near Los Angeles International Airport. So obviously, that's not good. And
to be clear, well, you don't say the I-105.
Oh,
it's Los Angeles. You say the 105.
The 105 I'm sorry. I'm an East Coast guy.
Let's chill.
The 105. The 105. So he was, anyway, regardless of what it's called, never good to be sleeping in at the wheel of your car. So Jordan was suspended 3 games by the NFL for this incident. He can still participate in all training camp and preseason games. But I mean, look, it's not good. It's still, I know only 3 games, but JJ McCarthy has a really tough task ahead of him, taking over a 14-win team and having, I don't want to say Super Bowl expectations, but having pretty decent playoff expectations and hopes for the Vikings this upcoming season. And to be avoiding, or to not have Jordan Addison for that opener against the Bears, then Atlanta and Cincinnati, it just makes things harder. It's not insurmountable. I really think as long as Justin Jefferson's there, this Vikings offense and his passing game will they'll always have the primary weapon. He's just that good. That Jalen Nailor filling in, and Felton, everyone who's able to step up can kind of just fall in after Justin, and things are usually okay. But Jordan Addison's been one of the better wide receiver twos in the league now for a couple years, and his absence will absolutely be felt. What's scarier to me, Ziggy, is on top of that is that Justin's not exactly healthy, and TJ Hawkinson's also a little banged up. So remember I told you, we knew the suspension was going to happen, by the way. But remember I said after the Jefferson injury, sometimes this bad luck can kind of snowball a little bit. That's where it's like, okay, it feels like we're just hanging on here where this receiving unit that we have is getting more injured. We're losing some guys to suspensions, and it just makes it harder for JJ week 1. So what was your initial reaction to the Addison suspension?
Well, I'm glad that Jordan Addison is going to be able to do preseason with us, because I think the single most important thing for JJ McCarthy to get is time throwing to these guys. Yeah. I mean, you saw of the Packers in 2023, right? Like the connection between a quarterback and the receivers, the chemistry there, being able to know where they're going to be is really, really important. Mm-hmm. What's also important is winning football games. That's an important part of the NFL. It's something that you have to do. And the Vikings, they're opening with 3 winnable but very important games. They go to Chicago, they host the Falcons, they host the Bengals. You need to be able to win those games. And like you say, I mean, if we have Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson at 100%, Darrisaw's playing, you've got Naylor, and I guess Rondale Moore's probably going to take Addison's spot.
Is that going to be Felton? It won't be Felton?
We'll see. I mean, it could be Ty Felton. I think Rondale Moore stylistically fits a little bit more in what Jordan Addison does. But I expect to see those guys get rotated. Regardless, it's not clear that's going to happen. The Hawkinson thing, I'm not worried about at all. Guys going day to day in training camp with like nondescript soreness, that's whatever. That sort of stuff happens when you're a veteran tight end like TJ Hawkinson. The Jefferson hamstring thing is a little bit more worrying. I just want those guys to get healthy. At the end of the day, I don't think this is something that's going to like derail the Vikings season, but you want to have your guys in there for all these games. And Jordan Addison is up for an extension soon. This stuff has got to stop if he wants to stick around in Minnesota, because we can't afford to have guys missing games for stuff like this.
No, we can't. And I mean, at the very least, as we were kind of joking at the start of the show, but yeah, he didn't get in trouble this offseason, which was nice. Hopefully that is a sign of maturity. It sounds ridiculous. Like, please don't drive 140 miles per hour. Please don't drive drunk. Like, that is, the very basis of how people should behave in general. So forget about being a professional athlete. So hopefully Jordan has matured here. As far as winning football games, last season he missed the 49er game. He missed the Houston game at the start of the season. And those were 2 of the biggest wins the Vikings had all year. Remember, San Francisco came to town, and we that was, to me, after the opener against the Giants where Darnold looked awesome, that San Francisco game. We've actually played San Francisco 2 years in a row now, where they've come to Minnesota and everyone's just been like, yeah, they're going to wax us. And we've had 2 awesome showings. That first showing was actually without Jefferson on Monday Night Football when Addison popped off with Kirk Cousins. So, Jordan had his success there. But last year, that was the 97-yard Jefferson game. The week after that, we blew out Houston 34-7. And those 2 games to me were the introduction of, okay, the Vikings are here this year. Like, they are a real contender. And that was without Addison. So we can get away with it. Again, Sam Darnold was so good last year, especially at the beginning of the season, that always helps when your quarterback's red hot. And we'll see what happens with JJ. But yeah, my initial reaction to Addison's suspension is we can survive this, but it doesn't help. so I'm not happy about it. But 3 games is 3 games, and hopefully we can get 2 of them. That's important. We need the Bears game week 1. I just got off the phone with a coworker, and he was saying, he's a Packer fan, and he was saying that first game between the Packers and Lions, the winner of that game to him is going to win the division. And that's a little, it's a little strong, but I kind of feel similarly about the Vikings and the Bears, and that the winner of that game, I think, you're just starting the season off on the right foot. You have 2 young quarterbacks playing this game who need some confidence going forward. Everyone's seen the video now of Caleb missing the targets and throwing a little temper tantrum. So getting that win to start the year against a division rival with similar expectations of really good team will work at quarterback with some new pieces. that's a huge game. And that's why it sucks not having one of the best receivers in football.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's an important game. You're right. We don't need to make things any harder for JJ McCarthy. He's already coming in on a team that's expected to play very well, where if things don't go well, he's immediately going to be blamed. And Jordan Addison was a significant part of why everyone thought this was one of the best situations to walk into. I think he's a player who, Vikings fans and NFC North fans in general, I think, recognize how important he is. But a lot of people would be surprised, I think, to hear he has 19 touchdowns over the past 2 years. But he's gone for nearly 2,000 yards over the past 2 years. Like, he's a huge contributor to this offense. I mean, even last year, he threw in a rushing touchdown. So we need him to be there. We need him to show up. And hopefully, I think because he gets to practice and gets to do off-season stuff, week 4, it'll be like he was never gone. But I wish we had some less important games to start the season.
Yeah.
And again, if you look up and down this Vikings schedule, there is no 3-game stretch where you think, oh, those aren't such important games. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a brutal schedule. The NFC North it's an absolute gauntlet. So that actually, I mean, that further necessitates the need to get these wins early, because the Bears is the game that you expect to win. The Falcons is a game that you expect to win if you want to be a playoff team. So you're right. You start the season off and there are a lot of hard games later on in the year. So we got to get these wins early. But it's a great opportunity for Jalen Nailor, great opportunity for Ty Felton. And hopefully one of those dudes steps up, because you have what you need in Hawkinson and Jefferson. Like, you can get the job done. And then you just need a couple guys to step up and make some big catches. Jalen Nailor did that last year. He had a couple really big third down catches in those games without Addison, had touchdowns in those games. This offense is built to survive a suspension like this. So I'm not too concerned. It's just disappointing. Now,
please get healthy, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Please,
That's the thing. Please. If Justin Jefferson winds up, if this hamstring lingers, then it's a disaster. Like, no Jefferson, no Addison, which could happen. Like, would it shock anybody if over the next 2 weeks, Kevin O'Connell came out and said, yeah, Justin's recovery's taking a little longer than we expected. Probably going to be cautionary and keep him out of this, the week 1 game. Like, that would be a disaster. For JJ in game 1, trotting out Ty Felton and Jalen Nailor. Hawkinson would probably be ruled out too. So that would be the total nightmare. But for now, we're okay. We're still holding on to the rope, just barely. Now, the other story, and this is a big one too. It's not a disaster situation, but it's another one of those where if you're a Packer fan, you are not happy today to see that Nate Hobbs is getting minor knee surgery. It's preventative knee surgery is what everyone's saying, just to make sure that he's ready to go come the regular season. And this has been something we've talked about at length now with the Packers. Everyone has their attention on the edge rushers. Everyone's had their attention on the receivers. The cornerback room, after losing Jair, it's very thin there. There's not a lot of depth for the Packers at cornerback. And we've been discussing, Ziggy and I were advocates of bringing Jair back if you were the Packers. That relationship, it just fell apart, like it wasn't going to happen.
And Jair's not practicing for the Ravens either.
So that would get you so far. But the problem is, if you do wind up having injuries, that Packer cornerback room, now we're starting to talk about Bo Melton a little more seriously. And no Packer fan actually wants to hear that. So Hobbs should be okay. He's potentially in line to play week 1. LaFleur said, I'm not going to put a timetable on it. Unfortunately, he had to have something cleaned up. We're hoping to get him back sooner rather than later. So we'll see. It's a 3-week recovery timeline. That's right around the week 1 area. And hopefully, for the sake of the Packers, any Packers fan is saying we get Nate Hobbs for that game. I'm okay with it though, Ziggy. Like, as far as there is a certain degree of risk every time you have a surgery, right? And he might have been fine for the entire season, but this is a guy who's missed 16 games over the past 3 seasons, and they do need him. So while it's a little concerning, I would say I'd rather be on the side of caution than not when it comes to this cornerback room in Green Bay, and I'd be okay with it.
The 16 game stuff, I think you're going to see that number thrown on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little misleading because some of that was his rookie season when he ended up on the COVID reserve list and he wasn't really a starter anyway. But 2022 of the broken hand and 2023 of the ankle injury, that was certainly legit.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised that, they didn't catch this sooner. Like they brought him in for physical. They've been monitoring it. It feels sort of weird that it's happening now. But at the end of the day, if you're the Green Bay Packers, it doesn't really matter. Even if Nate Hobbs misses week 1, this is not a big deal. Barring something enormous, like the recovery goes terrible, his knee is infected, and he has to have his leg amputated. Barring something like that, like you're going to be just fine. No, but I mean, like that's the only way this goes wrong. Realistically, Nate Hobbs will be back for you at the latest week 2 or week 3. Like Hobbs said, right? He plays in big games. He doesn't, even if he doesn't know if he's going to be able to do it, he's played through a lot in his career. Like he's going to be all right for them.
Well, week 1's a big game. Like that. I mean, that week 1 is a monster game.
Yeah. Well, and you're certainly going to have your cornerbacks tested that game, right? Like against the Detroit Lions. So I agree it's a big game. I just mean, if you look at their schedule, like there's a lot of big games on there. Nate Hobbs will be able to play for most of the season for you. This isn't like JJ McCarthy last year, where he has a meniscus injury and then he's out for the whole season.
No. So, he'll be fine. But
I see this as less of a big deal. I mean, obviously you want him practicing. You're bringing him into a new role. He's going to be cornerback 1 for the first time really in his whole career. He's played it, but he hasn't been asked to do it in preseason before. But it's more of a warning shot. Like, hey, 1 or 2 injuries, things could start looking very bad very quickly for this room.
No, and that's the fear here. But so let's assume everything goes fine and Nate Hobbs keeps his leg and recovers fine from this surgery. Then yeah, like the Packers have their eyes on the Super Bowl. Nate Hobbs came out and said it. He's like, in Green Bay here, it's not about making the playoffs. It's about winning the Super Bowl. And for that to happen, you're going to need a healthy Nate Hobbs this season. So let's say from week 2 on, he's fine. Great. Totally on board with the surgery. The thing is, though, that week 1 game really, like at the end of the year, I would not be surprised if that week 1 game is one of the big deciders in who's winning the division. So you're really hopeful you get him back, and I wouldn't rush him back if you're deciding to get the surgery. You want him to be fully recovered. So now it's sort of a matter of wait and see here. Will he be okay for that Detroit game? Because if he's out, yeah, they can still win that game, obviously. The Packers defense is still very good, but he's a major piece of that. And you said, he has cornerback 1 sort of expectations there in that room. So when you have Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams coming into town, and you're going to have to focus a lot of attention. What's the thing Detroit's great at? Ground and pound, baby. That's what they do. When you're going to have to be loading the box, you want Nate Hobbs on the islands, and that's just something we're going to have to wait and see if he's playing in that game. Kind of interesting, Ziggy, in the NFC North, particularly the 2 teams we talked about today with the Packers and Vikings, between Isaiah Rodgers and Nate Hobbs, like which one of those guys, if not both, is going to step up and fill a major role here? Because the Viking and Packers secondary, it's a little similar to me. I think Byron Murphy's the best of the group, but there are 2 units that we look at right now and say, man, like an injury or 2, and they're in a lot of trouble. And we're also relying on some young guys stepping up and really filling voids. And at the forefront of it are 2 guys coming in on real, like, kind of prove it opportunities. Like the Packers invested a lot in Nate Hobbs. The Vikings are really banking on Isaiah Rodgers. And if only one of them is going to take a leap, like that could be such a vital position for these teams that it elevates the whole defense to playoff caliber. Like it's a massive spot that Hobbs and Rodgers are stepping into.
To be clear, the Packers are much higher on Hobbs. They've invested a lot more in him than Isaiah Rodgers.
Yes.
Like Isaiah Rodgers, he does not really have a chance of winning the cornerback 1 job in Minnesota.
No, he doesn't.
They're bringing him and paying him like they think he can.
No, he doesn't. But Isaiah Rodgers, if Isaiah Rodgers does not pan out, now we're talking about Okudah and Blackman coming off major injury. Like Isaiah Rodgers
has heard the news about Okudah. How things coming out of Minnesota from Brian Flores, they're so high on.
Oh, good. I thought there was some new news, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh no, the news is this guy's apparently been unbelievable.
I Google.
I mean, his athleticism fits pretty well into what Flores wants to do. But the thing about secondaries always, I find it a very hard thing to predict in the offseason. You have to just see how these guys play in their particular schemes. Because Hafley and Flores both are guys that are willing to do unconventional stuff and play tricks of cornerbacks, use them in all sorts of different ways. Obviously, Flores on a different level than in that way. But at the end of the day, I've been saying that a lot lately.
Well, that's okay.
You got to get Nate Hobbs healthy. You got to get Jordan Addison on the field. But these are teams that need their best players playing. Both of them need high-level production from guys. Get Nate Hobbs out there.
Who do you think? So this is kind of just an on the spot. I apologize for throwing this in your face here. But between the Vikings and Packers secondary right now, which one would you take heading into the season?
Easy Packers.
Easy?
I think their safeties are at another level. And the cornerbacks, I'm more confident. The Vikings have more established cornerbacks, but the Packers, they were a very good pass defense last year. This is easy to forget. The advanced metrics had them as a top 10 pass defense without some of the shenanigans you see in Minnesota. I think the Minnesota defense was lucky last year to lead the league in not lead the league in takeaways, but to be third in the NFL in takeaways. I think that's going to come down a little bit. Xavier McKinney is that guy. Evan Williams is that guy. And their cornerbacks, we're waiting for one of them to be a star, but all of them were solid last year. I mean, guys like Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon were thrown into big roles of Jair out last year, and they were okay. I'm taking the Packers route.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer. I like the Vikings pieces, but there's definitely more question marks there. But I love Josh Metellus. I love Harrison Smith, but yeah, Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney.
They're both worse. I think they're both. The NFC North is the best safety division in football, without question.
Oh yeah, not even close. The Lions have the best safety room in the league, and the Packers are what, like 3 or 4?
3. Yeah, they're right there. The Vikings, I think, are borderline top 10. Even the Bears aren't terrible. I mean, the NFC North is safe to you.
So, last thing here to wrap up the show today. And Ziggy wanted to include this. Ziggy wanted to include this actually to put a smile on my face. So it's very considerate of Ziggy.
You need something, Paul.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe, I guess I do need.
I'm trying to cheer you up so optimistic Paul can last a few more weeks into the season.
I think that optimistic Paul is actually doing pretty well right now. Like the Addison suspension came in, and I was like, "Hey, only 3 games. Like, great. He's only gone for 3." And normally I'd just be like, "You got to be kidding me! How are we going to survive this?"
Well, this is related to what might have been, before Resurrected, the death of optimistic Paul.
Yeah, let's get in a time machine here and rewind to Paul Farrington in high school, working at the Acme Bakery, packaging chocolate chip cookies, sneaking cannolis and fruit tarts when the bosses weren't looking. I would actually go into the freezer, Ziggy, and then this was okay, but maybe I did a little too much. I'd sneak into the freezer and have the cannoli cream, and I'd just be downing cannolis, and I'd come back out when there was a customer. It was great. And I looked down at my phone, and I'm so pumped up for the Viking season. Like, we're coming off a playoff appearance. Yeah, it didn't go so hot, but I can't wait. And I look down at my phone, I see Teddy's hurt, looks serious. Ha 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 from one of my friends, which is just a sick text to get from somebody. And I think that since this time they've matured and would not send that. I probably still would. But I immediately, like mid packaging of bagels for the next day, I just drop the box, walk out of the bakery, and everyone's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Sorry, phone call, something happened." And I walk to the back room, look at my phone. It's like Teddy Bridgewater hospitalized following knee injury at practice. Like, Vikings players throwing up at practice. Like, horrible sight today in Minnesota. And I started tearing up in the back of the Acme. I came back, people like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Just Teddy went down. And they're like, who's Teddy? Again,
Teddy was like your brother or something.
Yeah, so Teddy Bridgewater has always had a near and dear place in the heart of the Farrington household. We actually my aunt got from my father the framed quote that says, "My faith is strong, my faith is unwavering, and my vision is clear. My purpose will not be denied." That's hanging in my house. My aunt got that for my father because he loved the quote so much. So we're huge Teddy Bridgewater guys, even from when he was at Louisville. And Teddy today actually signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is really exciting and good for Teddy, who, as everyone knows, was coaching high school football and then gets brought into the Lions for the playoff run and winds up playing when Goff goes down. I was rooting for the Lions when Teddy came in, by the way. The whole year I rooted against them. When Teddy was in, I was rooting for them. So
goes back to high school coaching, gets suspended from his position.
Yeah, well, we don't need to get into everything.
Not for anything bad.
But yeah, so he's signing with the Buccaneers and Teddy Bridgewater back in the NFL. So I'm always happy to see that. He's just seems like such a likable guy and got so unlucky that this is great. Have you, as a converted Viking fan over the years, began to like Teddy Bridgewater as much as I do?
Of course I liked it, not as much as you do. I don't think I would start actually crying and leave my job if Teddy got hurt again. But I mean, he immediately slots in as quarterback too for the Buccaneers. The Kyle Trask experiment, I think, is over. People were saying he was going to be the next Tom Brady when he was drafted, and that just didn't happen. Sitting behind Hall of Fame quarterbacks does not automatically make you good. Mm-hmm. Packers fans don't know this because that just seems to be what happens for them. But, Teddy's in as the quarterback too. Baker Mayfield has had injury issues over the course of his career. So it's not at all impossible that Teddy Bridgewater will be starting games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. And honestly, as backup quarterbacks go, I thought he was fine in Detroit when he had to go in for that drive. He got him probably their best looking drive of the whole game.
Yeah, Goff was.
I'm happy to see him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, hopefully nothing happens to Baker and we wind up not seeing Teddy, but I don't know.
I wouldn't mind rib soreness. Baker Mayfield misses one game. Teddy Bridgewater lights it up.
At this point, Teddy's 32. I'd be a little iffy with Teddy coming into the game right now. Like, as much as I'm rooting for him, that's still a little. But
I mean, the Lions and the Buccaneers believe in him. Those are two organizations that know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, those are well-run organizations right now.
I don't know what you want against the Lions. He when he was against the Commanders, he comes in from the playoffs. He completes his pass for 3 yards. What more could you want from your quarterback than a 100% completion percentage? Lions fans have talked to us about how great that was from Jared Goff. Are you telling me that Teddy Bridgewater doing it isn't impressive?
We're gonna have like a title of a YouTube video. He's back. People are gonna be thinking someone came out of retirement. Well, I guess someone did, but Anthony Barr also. Do you see he's retiring as a Viking?
I don't care about what team you retire with. That's the most overblown thing in the NFL. I'm going to sign a 1-day contract to retire with this team. Yeah, whatever, man.
But I don't know. If you have your whole career somewhere, it's kind of nice. Be a little sentimental, Ziggy.
I'd say, look, Anthony Barr is from South Bend. He was a great player for us. I don't mind that. But also, the last team he played for was the Vikings. Like, I don't care.
Oh, that's true. I didn't realize that. I guess, yeah, I guess I never.
Briefly after that Cowboys stint.
Steelers QB3 Howard hurts hand to be evaluated. It's not good. Jack won't be happy about that. Well, all right, there you have it. A couple injuries and suspensions to talk about. Hopefully everything's fine. I feel like all these NFC North injuries are not all of them, because there have been. I remember in Detroit I think there was a season ender, but most of the things we've been talking about so far have all been little. You know what? Not even going to say it. Not even going to say. Why would I even consider tempting fate like that? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Like what is wrong with me?
You're a fan of the Minnesota Vikings. You should know better.
This is insane. Like, remember the Jefferson clip I put out? I was going to be like, hey, just waiting for something horrible. And then he gets hurt. Like, what? Why would I have to know better by now?
I got one more question for you before we go.
Yeah.
NFL top 100. You know who came in at number 55 today?
I saw Baker was 50. And I thought, was it a quarterback?
No. It was Aidan Hutchinson.
Oh, yes, I did. That's unbelievable.
I think he's crazy. Well, where do you think Aidan Hutchinson is going to be next year?
4.
55 just seems crazy to me.
Like who
could jump 50 spots next
year? Who do you think will be 1 through 5 right now. Probably
the best 2 quarterbacks for sure.
Saquon will also be top 5.
I don't think so.
Oh, Saquon will be top 5.
If Saquon's not the best running back next year, he's not going to be top 5.
Did they say he's not the best?
No. Oh, you're talking about this year. Who's going to be top 5?
Yeah, no. I'm saying like this season, who do you think will be in the top 5? It'll be Allen. It'll be Lamar. It'll be Saquon.
The end of next season, I guarantee you, Saquon is not top 5.
Sure. I'm just trying.
For now, Saquon will be up there. Justin Jefferson might be. Jamar Chase will be.
Jamar Chase, that's 4.
5.
Surtain. Will Surtain be up there?
Could be.
I don't think he'll be top 5.
Could be Jalen Hurts. The NFL players in their top 100s will love to just vote for the quarterback.
Will there be any defensive players? I'm trying to think who, like any of the edge rushers.
There were
Garrett,
no crazy. I don't think it's going to be Pat Surtain. No.
Garrett and Watt would be the 2 dudes, right?
Yeah, neither of
Micah
them
got
are coming
hurt.
off career. I mean, let's see. Myles Garrett was what was his ranking last year? He could be up there just because he's Myles Garrett.
I'm very confident in Jamar, Saquon, what did I say? Yeah, Jamar. Yeah, I said Jamar, and I got confused. Jamar, Lamar, Allen, and Saquon will definitely be in the top 5. I don't know if Mahomes. I think Mahomes will be like 7 or 8.
Yeah, Mahomes. I don't think Mahomes will be.
Jefferson will probably fall. I think Jefferson's like 6 or 7. But who else is filling in there?
We'll see.
Any O lineman?
No
O lineman. I mean, Chris Jones is always in that,
but he's not coming off nearly a good enough.
Yeah, Bowers will probably be in the like 10 to 30 range.
I mean, Pat Surtain is the defensive player. I don't think it'll be Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he could be 5.
Could it be Derrick Henry?
Yeah, Henry
crazy on
Henry could be there. So then Aidan, I mean, yeah, Hutchinson, I'm just trying to think like who I'd knock out. I think Hutchinson will probably be like, he'll be top 10 next year for sure.
He'll be top 5 next year.
Yeah. So, all right, there you have it. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Again, thanks everyone so much for helping us get over 20,000 subscribers. We're, let's see, right here, we're at 20,163. Crazy. We're having a great day, and it's really cool. Thanks again to everyone for all the kind messages as well. And we'll see you on Thursday.